you're going to be looking what your similar properties are worth on the various portals.
Right. Correct.
Who's selling them? And those are the people you'll be probably wanting to get in touch with.
Yeah, there are definitely beliefs out there that say I need to be on Zillow because otherwise I don't get any exposure. And there's we just got done naming stats, there's definitely certain validity to that concern. But I think here, what you have to do if you're going to have these conversations with realtors is not so much worry about trying to compete against Zillow. It's how do you market your own business? Because I got several realtors in the area that I've helped work with and do various things for that they don't even have an IDX solution. They don't have a search solution on their website. They let Zillow do their things. They're the experts. They're the relationship builder. They're the ones building the knowledge of the area, and they don't worry about where the consumers are finding the listings. So they don't worry about their exposure in that regards. They worry more about how they're going to get people to come to their website and value the information they get there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a smarter strategy.
Hey, yeah, let's oh, you already started recording. Oh, cool. I didn't even you didn't cue the music here, Justin.
That's all we can cue. I didn't know we were starting to already got some good topics going, so I didn't want to miss the material. So
all right, man. So do you want to cue the music? I don't have to cue it.
Fine. We can start right now. I started 60 seconds ago.
Oh, all right, cool, man. All right, so we'll cue the music there. You got to point at me or something, brother.
Hey, welcome, guys. This is Justin Letheby, the E-Professor. We're here talking tech for realtors. Today, we're going to be talking Zillow and your website, how to compete with this and whatnot. I got Jason Bates with me, and we actually got a special person with us, Michael Reed from across the pond. So we'll actually have some very good information for you guys, and hopefully we will let you have a direction by the end of this. You guys take your turn and introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Jason Bates, host of a podcast here in Phoenix, Arizona called Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. Check that out on iTunes. Really appreciate that. Write a review for me too. Also check out my website, valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com.
I'm Michael Reed, a tech consultant to the real estate industry in the UK, and just been looking at how the same industry works around the world, really, seeing what we can learn and what we can take from each other. That's good.
It's awesome.
Real estate is a common language.
Yeah, just done very differently in different places. So
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I really am kind of excited about this topic because I talk to realtors all the time. I'm on the lending side of the world, of the real estate world. And they're always talking to me about, hey, website, do you want to be on my website? Do you want to get the exposure on my website? Do you want to share some of the cost on my website? I'm always getting those conversations that come up from time to time. And from a lender's perspective, when I talk to agents, one of the key factors for having a website is to showcase maybe their listings, maybe have some testimonials or some kind of branding about the agent.
Yeah.
But I talked to an agent just about a month ago, right before Christmas, and she has an IDX, and I want to talk about this a little bit. An IDX, and I'm not sure what that stands for. Justin, you'll have to help me out.
Internet Data Exchange.
Okay, and that showcases a lot of the kind of is the liaison between the MLS and the website, so people can search multiple listing service on that realtor's website. And she was having trouble keeping people coming back to her website without having to, they would always go to Zillow or some other type of website, Redfin, whatever, Trulia, and searching on their website versus coming back to her. So I think it's a big challenge for realtors to get people to keep coming back to their website. What do you say, Justin?
I would agree. I mean, to me, I laugh because I'm a Keller Williams agent. I'm mostly a tech trainer, tech coach type of thing for real estate agents. That's primarily what I do these days. But I work with one of the largest companies in the world, and I talk with a lot of tech agents. And their biggest thing they're always trying to do is find all these special widgets, all these special tools that make their IDX portal on their websites look like Zillow or look like something better. And the bottom line becomes, I think it's the wrong strategy. I'm glad someone wants to play with it because I think it's the wrong strategy. If someone comes along the golden nugget, awesome. But you're fighting the wrong battle because you're trying to fight a one-person team versus a 1,000-man team who's all over the United States and all over so you're dealing with just too many numbers against one person. You have to, and they're large, so they're general, they're very generic. You can't deal with that. You got to deal with specifics. You got to deal with your area, your market, your knowledge. Have the IDEX if you think it's important, but don't worry about that. Have that as have that like a business card, something you just hand out all the time. Everything else is where the value comes from. So
should your website be making your clients' transaction easier and smoother?
Yep.
That's what it's coming down to on our side as well. It's how can you make people's transactions quicker, easier, more efficient on their time, in their terms, rather than having to wait for a contract, maybe have the document signing on your website.
Yeah, absolutely. Companies like Dotloop, DocuSign, you can partner up with those guys and always make that stuff easier. You can have portal communication tools. There's all sorts of solutions. I agree with you completely. I think that's on the nail. We were at a holiday party yesterday. One of the mortgagers had a holiday party. It was a good time. But I had about 15 of us talking about this exact problem. And I keep telling them, and they were agreeing with it, but no one wants to do it, is we're worrying about the wrong stuff. You have to understand where your relationship is with your client today, because tech removes some of those things. We're not the key holder anymore. We're not the ones letting them in the door. We're not doing any of that stuff. What we are doing is, you just said it, Michael, we're making the transaction easier, and we're helping them make sounder decisions. And if we can make them feel at ease at making that decision go easier and make it an easier transaction, they will stick with us for life. If we give them the best search portal, they'll go to someone else that has the better search portal next year. It's just how it works.
So one thing I did notice, I was on Zillow and Trulia this week, doing some research. Floor plans. No floor plans anywhere.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, how? So that's a good question. So do you guys have floor plans over there?
It's one of the most sought after things, photos and floor plans. That's what people want to see. So, I mean, we're looking at some property over there, and we were going, well, what's the layout? We can see the photos, but where do they all stitch together? And where's the floor plans?
No, right. And you're right. I laugh because every time you go to a realtor convention, you go to something along those lines, there is a company out there. There's at least one, if not three, at every convention that is selling floor plans, 3D models, things like that. Like the current one, if you want to research it in the States, is a company called Matterport, and they're kind of doing a 3D floor plan layout schematics. It's really kind of neat. Yeah. But that's the newest and greatest that's out there right now. But no one wants to adopt it. One, because the costs are just too high, and that becomes an individual realtor cost. No brokerage is buying that.
Yeah, it's your marketing cost.
So no one is taking care of that. Two, for most realtors, that becomes, and I don't know why no one's taking advantage of it, but that becomes an extra step they don't want to do, right? That means someone has to actually come in and measure, because most of these people here don't have their old architectural drawings. Yeah. So it's something I'm with you, confused as heck.
Well, I think there's a bit of an attitude too. Sometimes floor plans can be a deterrent sometimes too, to the layout. A lot of people want open floor plans in some older homes here. There's many different styles. At least here in Phoenix, there are tons of different styles of homes, and sometimes showcasing a floor plan wouldn't necessarily work for that home. So, and I think realtors they kind of focus on, and I always say this, the sexy part about real estate is the house, and so they try to take this fabulous picture and then just showcase that. And on a website, I don't know that really works unless it's done really, really well.
So, I mean, it's okay. I think I'm always thinking about people moving from abroad or further away, or different states, different counties. So for me, if I'm looking for a property, I'd like to know as much, especially if I'm moving far away, I need to know much about all the properties I'm going to go and see before I get there. And a floor plan is just one of the things which helps you almost visualize the layout.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But you get a lot of movement across states, or do you know what? I was trying to find the percentages the other day, but it's a hard figure to find. And how many people move between states or between countries?
A lot of people here in the United States move. I did a thing on millennials, right? Millennials aren't loyal to anything right now, so they'll move cross country. They could care less.
One of the figures was 30 million people between 25 and 30 will move between states.
Yeah.
But that was a couple of years old, and I was like, I wonder what the real figures are.
Well, and you bring up a good question, because right now I know in the States, especially with what we just went through, one of the biggest growths we have seen is international buyers. And you're hitting on the nose, because they can't come over here and just say, okay, we're going to spend a week and just look at the homes. They got to have virtual floor plans. They have to have viewable screens. They got to have things they can do and look without having to come through here. And there aren't those solutions strongly in place. And it becomes a challenge.
See, this is where the realtor's private website or personal website will be able to offer something more than the big portals will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can offer these services. It just, you know, if I'm going to come across there and I've got a week, I can only look at so many properties. If I can rule off 10 or 20 of those properties, save time.
Yeah.
You know, that's where probably your personal, your own website could offer more information than you can deliver off to a portal.
Yeah, no, I and that's where I think some realtors, they get a website and all they want to do is showcase properties, and it needs to be more than that. Like you were alluding to there, Mike, a little bit. And we talked about this last week, Justin, is selling a lifestyle. If you're going to focus on, say, you know, luxury properties, then your website needs to kind of maybe showcase that lifestyle a little bit. Let the Zillows and the other things kind of do what they do. But I always think of a website as your brand. If that was your business, that it needs to be very obvious as to what you do on that website. And really showcase that. People are going to go to Zillow. They're going to go. You can't compete with the advertising dollars. It's all over TV. It's all over radio. You can't compete with that.
Yeah.
But once
that's not what you do. You don't sell properties all around the country. You're selling properties in your areas.
Right.
So I think competing with a portal is madness.
Yeah.
It is, and you know, it's about, you know, what we found is that people come because they want more information. I think they have this belief that you have more information about that property than the portals do.
And I think yeah, no, I agree. You want to put more information on your website, and that's where, when we talked about video and things like that, having video on your website, I think would be a huge advantage over the Zillows and stuff like that. And having maybe sit down testimonials or sit down tutorials or, you know, whatever the case may be on your website, I think would attract a lot more people, and keeping it current too.
Well, you know, funny thing with videos is that we've done quite a bit of testing with virtual floor plans, where it's basically a walkthrough. You know, they put the cameras in the different points in the house, and you always have like a street view inside the property. And we thought that it costs quite a bit of money, which is the agent's cost. But, you know, when you're talking about the big high-end properties, it's a small fraction of it's a big selling point. But it didn't take off so well. People didn't really want it. And then you've got the agents who go, well, actually, you're giving too much information now away. If you can just let somebody walk through the property.
There's something to be said about that. It's one of those tease things. It's, you know, you want to give as much information as necessary, but as little as possible kind of deal. You know, you want them to call you, and, you know, you don't want to overdo it.
Well, but I don't know if I agree with that anymore, because realtors did this. When IDX first came out, you had the option to say, do I give my address or I don't give my address? There was realtors all day long that said, okay, I'm not going to give the address because they got to come to me to find that information. People are sophisticated. If you hold that information out, they are going to go and find a way to find that out. By none, they're going to do it. And statistically speaking, it doesn't really matter when. The same percentage of leads to close stay the same, whether you capture them early or you capture them late in the process. And to be honest with you, it's all depending on what you're going to do and how much effort you want to put into place. I think really what you have to worry about more is not so much, you got to have ability to capture those leads, but I don't think it's so much worrying about what I'm denying from them. It's what I'm giving them that they want to give me their information, right? Am I giving them a free PDF on what are the best buying strategies today? Here are my five favorite websites to go to learn about any house you want to look at the country. You know, whatever it may be. Those are things that are going to capture those leads because you're giving something away, not holding off. And I think from a realtor perspective, if you are holding information because that's how you're going to get the lead, nope, you're done. You're already playing the wrong game, especially with millennials. You're already playing behind the 8 ball.
I agree. To find that information. I mean, especially with things like, you've got on Truly and all the portals, you've got all the historical financial information, you've got the area demographic, you've got all that information anyway. If you're starting to hold back a street address, that's just what Google Maps, and boom, you'll find it pretty quickly. But it's just an inconvenience. Right.
Well, and you can type in like here in the United States anyways, type in an MLS number and you can probably find the address online in 30 seconds or less anyway. So it's not that big of a deal anymore. But
that goes with everything. I mean, if you're trying to hold something away from them, saying I got to hold something off because how am I going to get the lead? You've already lost that game. I just think you got to give them something to have it. And we're thinking so much. Again, from real estate agents, we think of it as a key holder. We're holding the information. We got to, you are a deliverer of information. You are going to build that. You're going to build relationships. You're going to build that. And by doing that and giving that stuff away, you are building implicit trust. And that trust is going to lead into business for you.
What are your guys' thoughts? Let me ask you guys this, because with websites, Zillow's website there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot of clicks and moving around, blog posts, property searches, all that kind of stuff. How complicated or how simple should a realtor's website be?
It's a good question.
Simple. So for me, it's you don't want to have to go to the website and try and work out what you're going to be doing. And with that's what there's a lot of big global estate agents where you go there and you have a look at their website and you go, right, where do I search for property? And it takes you a while looking around the page to go, right, this is where I look. And then you realize, actually you're in corporate, you're not in residential property, you're in something. It's just a mess. So for me, simple. Right now. And when you get to the property details page, you want everything. You don't have to be clicking around hunting. Simple, big.
Simple seems to be like a theme right now. I'm hearing that a lot with not just real estate, but just all websites, making them.
Well, I think people are smarter now. I'm going to go look for a property. That's fine. I'm not going to just go randomly let's go look at property. I'm going to know how much I can afford. I'm going to know what the mortgage repayments are going to be. I'm going to know. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I haven't come to a real estate website to go and find out how much I can borrow.
Yeah.
I know how much I can afford. I don't need to go and work out, can I afford this? I'm at your website to look at property. Is that what you do? Yeah, well then stop offering tea, coffee, and the baker down the road. It's not what I'm after.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. Simple is definitely key. But the other thing they got to think about is they do have to think about searchability, right? So having blog posts, having conversations out there, having expert moments are things that have to be available on that website. Now, they don't necessarily have to be something that you can view on that webpage, but they have to be searchable.
Absolutely. But then it's also relevant information on the page. If you're looking at a property details page, you ask, what are you on that page for? Are you there to look at all the blogs? Are you there looking at property?
Well, but now see that becomes an interesting question. Again, it's interesting how this works for. It's interesting how this works for you guys versus the states, and it could be the same, could be completely different. I really worry about us trying to be the resource for search because here, my experience here, no matter how many times I have a mobile app, I have 3 websites that have all their 3 independent search options in there. But you know what I get more hits on? Articles. I get more hits on articles. I get more hits on things than that. I don't get hit on IDX. And when someone wants to look at a house, they don't come to my website and say, hey, Justin, I'm going to share your website home here. I'm going to share Zillow. I'm going to share Redfin. I'm going to share whatever, because that's what they're doing. So I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if and maybe it's different over there. I just don't see a lot of consumers here actually coming to my website for search. It's great if it's there, but I don't see them coming to that.
Right.
Yeah. No, they'd go to the portal for that.
Now,
so I always worry about trying to promote search as your first thing.
How important is your website in the formatting for mobile? Right, it's been a big push, right? Google has done a lot of changes to make if your website isn't mobile, then I don't know if the searchability is on mobile, but I'm sure it's pretty high. People sitting in front of a house and they search online while they're driving around looking for houses. So how important is your website to be mobile?
For us, we see more than 50% of traffic is on mobile. But it's quick browsing traffic. When people are serious and they're really starting to look, you'll see it starts changing over the page length, the time they stay. It all moves to desktop. But for the browsing and the quick having a look, am I interested? Yes, no, all mobile. Yeah. If it's
what
not
about
mobile.
This? What about this, guys? Yeah. What about having and I'm just out of the box thinking here. Google has the maps, right? Is there a need to have, like, you can create your own business page? Could you create a business page for your listing and then have it dot on the map? Would that be useful at all for websites?
I don't think Google will let you do that.
Yeah, you've got to own the property, and it takes. I mean, yeah, and they keep changing the rules around this, and it's a bit of a pain because just to verify the listing could take anything from 3 to 6 weeks.
You're right.
It's just and then they change it, and it's no longer in places. It's in your Google Plus pages, and then
yeah. Good point. I didn't think of that far ahead, I suppose.
I mean, there's a lot of mapping tools you can use. So we're busy playing around with mapping tools on our side at the moment. So on an estate agent's website, or you got a realtor's website, you can go there and you can decide what in the area you want to show. So you can remove all of the Google pins and you can replace it with your own custom pins. That's quite nice if you know the area and you know there's certain things that you want to show. But then there's a cost to that again, and it's not cheap. It's fine if you've got lots of agents all around the place, you build it into your cost. But if you're a single person selling property, it's going to be an expensive cost.
Because let's talk about costs here a little bit. So, I know just 10 years ago, I mean, to build a website cost you $10,000, 15, even more $1,000 US to build a website. They've gotten a lot cheaper, it seems. I've told some agents, hey, look, you may not need a website. Just do a YouTube. Use YouTube as your website, and post videos and categorize, homes listed for sale, tutorials, that sort of thing. I mean, could you get away with that?
Not where we are, because you see, it works a little bit differently. I mean, we've got 200-300 estate agents working for one company, so we don't have a lot of single people just selling property. It's normally done by a company with multiple people inside it. So it's not an individual process here. Where you go around, you see the company name everywhere. You don't see the person. Whereas I know, like in the States, you have a person who deals with you. Australia, South Africa, it's normally somebody, not a company. So for us, it would just
not work.
Yeah.
So, but I think what you could do, which could be a little more interesting, you might not have to have, and maybe it wouldn't work for you. I don't know, Michael, but I know for us, I think you hit an interesting thing, because maybe it doesn't need to be a huge page or a huge website, but maybe it's a single landing page that has 4 big boxes saying, here's your videos, here's your listings, here's this, here's that, and it goes to 4 different things, and you're not hosting any of the rest of that stuff. And you could do that for a couple bucks a month.
I mean, you've got all, and there's a lot of WordPress sites as well, which are designed for realtors. And I think there's always importance to have a presence on the internet where you can do your blogs. You can do, if you're on Twitter and you're doing these videos and that, where are you trying to get people to go? Ideally, this is going to drive them back to your website, so they know more about you, to deal with you, not YouTube or Zillow or Trulia. So I think to have a place to put your content. I think it's really important. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Now, how important is
all your listings through to IDX, or through all into a central place where all the property's kept, isn't it? And then everybody shares.
Yeah, it's through a multiple listing service, an MLS, locally that realtors pay for.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, what about company websites? You mentioned company websites. I know a lot of the real estate agents. Justin, you're with Keller Williams. I think Keller Williams provides websites. Because you work for Keller Williams. Is it important to have that and your own personal, or ditch the company website and just keep your personal?
That will depend on several factors, and the biggest is how much time you want to spend doing that. Because the problem is every agent is good at different things. Like, I'm technically oriented, so I have about 4 websites. I have a couple that exist with Keller Williams. I got one on my own. I got one I'm playing with at all times. Right, so I'm doing different things. But I got some agents that they're out in the field all day long, and if you ask them to put a WordPress website up to you, they would literally explode their brain because they just don't even understand what you just said. So I think really what it comes from is, if you have a company that's nice enough to actually supply those websites and you are good at selling, then let that website do what it does and don't worry about it. But if you actually have time or have the ability to hire somebody, I think it's always a great idea to have a secondary website, because I think to niche out and brand out your business is going to be an extremely strong solution for you guys. And it's something that becomes a realistic solution. The more websites you have, the more exposure you're getting. Now it's a ratio, time over effort, and you got to figure out where that balance becomes from.
What is the purpose of the company website? Is that the thinking of like, hey, we
That's
get all the
in real estate.
Yeah, are we promoting Keller Williams? What is the purpose? Is it like strengthen numbers kind of thing? Hey, we'll get better SEO if all the agents participate. What?
Okay, now one thing, please understand when we talk about this one, we're talking from the generalities of specific things, right? Because one, I'm not a managing broker. I don't know if anybody in here's a managing broker. We're not going to try to have that battle going on here.
Right.
But here's the thing I can tell you, because I've talked to all levels of thing. What from a brokerage level, what they are going to tell us is one thing. They're going to say, look, it's strength in numbers, right? All listings, all coming, we're going to have a better ability to get more leads, more traffic, more things than your little bitty site. And we're going to be able to disseminate it out, right? And some people just have that as part of their franchise rules, is they have to come through one thing and they'll aggregate the data out, and these people aren't allowed to do other things because we're supplying that solution for you. From an agent perspective, the agent's always about branding themselves and trying to get that knowledge and recognition. Both have values. It just really depends on where you sit. Now, again, I'm taking it from the higher level. If there's actually other realtors in here, which I don't see a lot of right now, they will have very large and vastly different opinions of what I just said.
What's your take on that, Greg?
I'm actually, well, hey guys, Jason, good to see you, my friend Justin, Michael, nice to meet you guys. I'm an active agent, coach, trainer, podcast host. So I have an opportunity to talk to a lot of people around the country and around the world. And I'll tell you right now, the YouTube channel idea for original content, that has been one of our fastest growing verticals, where we can go out and have an opportunity to communicate with folks. The average person understands YouTube. They don't get Blab yet. They don't understand what we're doing. They're like, Blab, what is Blab? Why would I do this?
Yeah.
But the original, and also a lot of people not like us, they're afraid of the camera, which I don't understand that. But original video, original stuff like this is truly powerful. And if you have the opportunity, like I was just on Michael Stelzner's Examiner podcast talking about some of the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Facebook Live, everybody gets Facebook. Even my mom's on Facebook.
Right.
If you have the chance to create original content, download it, upload it to YouTube, take that link, put it over to your landing page or your website or anything like that. That's going to be the easiest, fastest way for people to listen to you and get your content. And you can talk about whatever you want. The people I train in my programs, I say, look, everyone has a unique, special power, right? Something, a hobby, a tip or a trick or something that I don't possess. Create a series of videos on them. Always state who you are, what you do, but then let everybody know that that you're not just a stick figure human being that's right on a postcard or on a business card.
Right.
We see just tremendous value with that in our marketplace, and we do keep it super simple. We use the KISS theory. We want to make sure that we don't overwrite. We just want bullet points, and there we go.
So let me ask you, Greg, or you guys. Can you just build a business Facebook page and use that as your website?
Well, it's like a CRM. It is the largest media holder and provider out in the world. They just came out with football, their sports stadium app, which they're going to be interacting with football. Sorry for Michael, it's football, American football.
We've seen the game.
I built other football.
I don't know.
I see a movement, maybe just ditching their own personal. The only thing what I like about websites is, number one, when you do a Google search of somebody's name, it takes up a space if you can get the proper SEO for it, right? Mm-hmm. So you see your name, multiple times on a Google search, which I think is pretty powerful. When you drop them off from showing homes, they go in their computer and they search your name and see how relevant you are. So for that, it's good. But beyond that, hey, I'd rather tell my clients, hey, like my Facebook page or connect with me on Facebook or connect with me on LinkedIn or because.
But then it's your personal brand for engagement with people.
in 2013, they did a study and they showed that 60% of all buyers and sellers would go to the agent's website and check them out. 2014, 77% of people went to the agent's Facebook page to vet them out. So I don't know, Jason, might be an interesting concept of just dumping your traditional sites. I mean, we use a company called Playster. Are you guys familiar with Playster at all? Here it's extremely affordable. It's like $10 a month. Has an IDX feed. It's completely customizable. They have an academy on the back end. They give agents like a weekly agent idea so they can continually get better. They have lead generation built into it if you want to take it out to your social media. And we've loved using Playster, and that could sidestep, the IDX issues, and then also creating those additional pages for the links to your blabs, your videos, your whatever else you do.
Right.
Yeah, Playster is huge, and they're making huge strides in an extremely short period of time. It's actually quite impressive what they're doing right now. It's very neat, and to be honest with you, as far as you're going back with Facebook, there are agents right now. They haven't got rid of their website, but they're pretty much ditching their website and testing an all Facebook strategy. So it'll be interesting to see how that grows for them, because the only thing you can't really do, although there are solutions out there, is you don't have a searchability tool straight from Facebook for real estate.
Well, you mean for listings?
Well, they're out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying not what people are using, not like a straight IDX where it's like everybody's used to. There are out there. There are solutions. There's just nothing people I've seen it, but it's been happy about yet.
We've had a tool developed for Facebook to import listings straight into it. It didn't see. I mean, this was much over a year ago, but nobody cared.
I just don't think IDXs are important.
But that's the UK market. Whereas the thing is, I think what I'm seeing here at the moment is that the US market, it's about the person selling the property, about the actual realtor. Where we are, it's about the company selling the property.
Well, let me throw this too, Greg, and I'm sorry to interrupt, buddy. With Facebook, you mentioned that statistic. That tells me that people want to know you personally more than they care about the other stuff. Because if they're going to trust you in finding their dream home, their American dream, or UK dream, or whatever you guys call it there in the UK. I don't know what you guys call it. It's called the American dream.
Yeah, it's still American dream.
Maybe it's called taxation there or something. I don't know. But if they want to find it, they want to find you, and they want to know more about you personally.
They do. They totally do. And that's why I always tell folks, look, guys, you have to be a human first, right? The old saying is they don't care about you until they know that you care about them. And so if you give value, give content, the millennials do not want to be advertised to flat out. And we know this. They want to hear stories. They want to have adventures. They want to live the life. I was out showing a young lady yesterday. She's a millennial, and she's a labor and delivery nurse. And she's flat out telling me she doesn't want to have kids. She doesn't want to do this. She wants to travel, and the way I found her was I was telling a story and she came to me. So I think that you're right about that stuff. It's dramatically changing. And sorry to go hard left on you, but I posted my link to my Facebook page on my team Facebook page. And you'll see there, if you guys go to it super quick, on the right, on the bar, you'll say find a home. And that's a straight IDX link that we use. I actually like it better than my MLS, to tell you the truth. Just because it's more visually based.
Searchability on your Facebook page. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So then, really, what's the need for a website other than to take up a line on a Google search?
That's exactly my point. Yeah,
Facebook is going to outrank that anyway. I mean, you're not going. Zillow and I mean, good grief, man, they're crazy, right? So Facebook, that's a way to compete with them, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And Zillow, man, they're good for reviews, but buying those ads for $600-700 a month, you get a bunch of junk. They flood you with crap, and then you have to sift through that like a gold miner to get that one nugget or two nuggets out of it. And that's a lot of work. That's like a whole nother employee kind of work.
Right.
Guys, I hate to do this, but I've got to shoot. I've got to go do some football training now. Not your football, the other. Yeah. So
thanks for being a part of it,
coming in, man.
And let's do it again, buddy, for sure.
Guys, absolutely. There's so much to talk about.
No question about it, dude.
It really is. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers. Bye.
There is a. Have you guys heard of the IFTTT app yet?
Great tool.
Freaking,
I use that quite often, actually.
So explain that a little bit more. I just heard about it a second ago. To link, so if you're going to post on Facebook, you can it'll post on your Twitter, right, or anything else.
It's all sorts of things. Essentially it's if this then that. So it's the old programming rules, right? If this happens, this and this will happen, right? Mm-hmm. And what they basically have is they're called recipes. So you can do various things. For instance, I use one all the time. If I'll use Instagram, and I have a personal account on Instagram. But if I take a picture, or if I'm in a training session or I'm in a presentation, I will take a picture of the room, and then I will tag it with a hashtag eProfessor. And anytime that eProfessor comes out, now it will go to my Facebook account, it'll go to my Twitter stuff. So all I got to do it once, and it will then go to all my business solutions that are out there. And there's all sorts of recipes for that kind of solutions where you can just say, if this happens, if this trigger happens, I will enact several different things. And people use it a lot for social media.
So you have eProfessor, and then you'd maybe have another one for your Twitter and another one for, I don't know, Instagram, or not Instagram, but any other social media. So you can literally just have your recipes, and it can just let you just one, as my father would say, one stop many sales.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, there's a recipe on there for Craigslist. So one of the things that I do with my agents here is, and you got to be very specific here, Greg, with it. But the for sale by owners on Craigslist, which there are quite a few, at least in Phoenix there are, because everybody thinks that they're a realtor kind of thing, right? So what you can do is you can create a recipe. You can take the URL from your search in Craigslist. Like if you search, for sale by owner San Francisco 85 or whatever your zip code or whatever it is that you want to target, make sure it's very specific. You put that in a recipe, and then you'll get an email every day that a new FSBO is put on there that then you can then market to say, hey, if it doesn't sell, I'd love to earn your business.
No kidding.
So it could be a lead generator in a way for you.
I used it way back in the day when I was doing for sale by owners. I used it quite a bit for that, and it was a great solution. The only thing you have to be careful is you got to decide how you want it to go, because you can spam the heck out of yourself through email. So, I mean, when I did it the first time I turned it on, I was getting emails almost every 30 seconds. I'm going, oh, Jesus, this has got to stop. So you got to make sure you're doing it right.
And that goes for anything on Craigslist, right? If you're searching, like if you're wanting a generator or something like that, hey, it'll come up and email you that it just got posted. So it's a pretty good solution to that.
If only this could be used in the online dating arena, where you're like, a 5'10" brunette with blue eyes just came on the market.
And now you're talking.
Yeah.
Give it time, man. Give it time.
It's all about attitude there, Greg.
Huh?
It's got to have a good, a person's got to have a good personality. It's got to pick that up too, right?
Yes, it does. But first we start with what you see. Then we work into the other layers.
I got you.
No, that's so. What else do you guys use this for? Because there's a lot of agents. Every time. Well, shit, man. Every single time I talk to you, Jason, I'm always like, wait, it can do that. This can happen. This is around, and so I'm always blown away. But I want to teach this stuff to my folks. What else can this IFTTT thing do? Anything really? Just kind of go poke around.
Let me see here. I got a couple recipes
for my Twitter. And I've actually gotten some additional followers for it. You can actually go in and retweet. So let's say you want to follow the Chamber of Commerce or your municipality or whatever. You can then retweet their tweets. Like here we have tourism and stuff like that. So they have stuff about the Super Bowl, the Cardinals. It's all kind of different, subjects. You can even do like travel, follow people who not people, but like your local travel agency for the city, and retweet their tweets, because they always have really cool tweets about local things happening.
Okay.
Hey, if you're new in town, check out the, beef eating contest downtown, but whatever. And they'll have links to that. And that's a good thing to kind of put on your tweets as your community that you represent for sales.
And this is automatic? Or is this?
Yeah.
No.
All this stuff's automatic. Are you a Twitter guy? Do you coach with people that are Twitter people?
I'm the most Twitter dumb I can't. I get it. I open up the app and I literally look at it going, now what? I don't even know what to do. I mean, I'm completely frozen. I got to learn more about it to really gain them.
One of the things I use it for is I struggle with Twitter a little bit too, because I really do like Twitter. We just lost you, Jason. Not sure what happened. But one of the things that I like about if this and that is when people communicate with me or someone follows me in Twitter, I give them a hey, thanks for following me real quick. If someone mentions me or talks to me in Twitter, they go into a list in Twitter so I can follow them. So anybody mentions me in something, now I got them in a list so I can follow their conversations along that lines and doing arenas like that. Are you an Evernote person?
No, never got
Okay.
it. I'm Facebook, Blab, YouTube, heavy in YouTube, getting into Instagram. I mean, I have to become much more well-rounded. You know, I can't put my head in the sand anymore with Twitter.
So what some people will do is it's another way for them to kind of like automate a database. So I'm a big Google guy. So one of the things that I will do is with Evernote, I can take a picture of like a business card and it will automatically create a contact profile. At the same time it does it in Evernote, it can automatically add that stuff to a spreadsheet. So now I have an exportable spreadsheet CSV file that I can use anywhere I want for any kind of culmination. Some people will use it. They used to use it. They changed the rules recently, so it hasn't turned back on yet, but used to use it for LinkedIn. And anytime like X date popped up, they would wish this person a happy birthday or wish them a congratulations. So there's tons of things you can do inside of this, if this and that will automate that life and make that life a lot easier for you as a client and look like you're having a good customer touch.
So go get Evernote is what you're saying. Understand Evernote and then use the IFTTT to automate links and post to different social networks. Have you posting off of one?
Yeah, I like Evernote. I think Evernote's a great tool just from a note-taking perspective and a collection perspective. It does some very amazing things out there, and you don't have to pay anything for it. What you can get for free is top of the line. Mm-hmm. And then when you have that with if, this, and that, now you added a ton more power. I mean, I don't collect. I am not a paper person. I hate it. If you want for me to lose something, give it to me in paper format. Guaranteed I'm going to lose it. So I will literally, if I go to like a holiday party like last night, someone will give me a business card. I said, here, just hold on a second. I take a picture of it. I hand it back to them because I don't want it.
Well, why don't,
I will literally take confetti out of the washing machine almost every week because I left the business card in my back pocket.
That's funny. Do you use storyapp.me?
No, I haven't heard of that. I love these things. I learn something new every day.
So you're going to love storyapp.me. It's a digital business card, completely free. You can link all your social media to it. You can write a bio on it, put your photo in it. And so what you do is it would be like, okay, Justin, you and I meet each other at a holiday party like last night. And instead of me handing you my business card, what I would do is I would say, hey, Justin, what's your cell number? I'm going to text you my info. And now instead of, perfect. Instead of me kind of guessing if you're going to give me the right information, I know you're going to give me the right cell. I text you over, and this is what I would text: gregmcdaniel.com or .me.us.info. Whatever, right? Sure. And then as soon as you get that text, you're going to press the link, and I auto upload into your contact data. And I now have your cell. You have now all my information about me, so you can stalk me and you'll understand who I am. And it's very effective because if you don't want to do anything paper-wise, this should be like your Shangri-La. I mean, this is.
Oh, I'm loving what I'm hearing already.
Yeah, it's fun too. I mean, because it's going to show to that next person that you're super tech savvy. You're on that upper curve. You're not following people. You're beating people up in a good way.
So now is that free though, Greg? Is that you have to pay because
no, it's free.
So how do you now explain that again? So if I text you, I guess it's storyapp.me/Jason Bates. If I text that link to you, then it would automatically upload to you.
So hold on, let me send you mine, and you can see what I've done on mine.
Because it's asking me to enter a domain and upgrade for free and all that. Because I remember you mentioning this before,
right?
And I went on there. I'm like, oh, it's a great idea, man. And I didn't upgrade because I was like, oh, I thought it was free. So I didn't know.
No, it is. It is a free, unless they've changed it recently. You'll see what mine looks like. And I got to get this thing sorted out. It's kind of when you get started up. You just get that app and you just scroll down. You'll see my, LinkedIn, my YouTube, my Facebook, where my location is, my little story about me, all my contact information, all that stuff.
And so you would then just text that link there to somebody, and then
right. So Jason, you and I meet at a cocktail party.
Yep.
You're going to be buying or selling or whatever. I say, hey Jason, what's your best sell? I'm going to text over my information, my digital business card, so you can hang on to it, never lose it. Smile, smile, wink, wink.
Right.
And then when you get that text, you click on the link and it uploads into your contacts.
Wow. And you don't need a story app.
No. It's just, you just log into Story app, create your profile
card or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a V card on steroids, because now they can go watch your videos, check out your profile, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. No,
and it took me a little while to kind of mess with this thing, but when I finally got it, I was like, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. No,
I'm loving this. I gotta stop. You'll lose me.
You're just like, I'm entering my stuff right now.
I was like, okay, you guys are talking. I can do this. Okay, I gotta stop.
You're like, wait, what is the conversation now? Where are we?
And that's my problem. I love tech, and that's also when you mentioned something I haven't heard of, which is rare. I'm going, okay, now I gotta check this out.
Greg, do you have your own website?
Like my team website?
Yeah. Is it a company website, personal website? What?
Let's see here, Daniel.
And Ralph asked a question here too. I don't know if you saw it there. I don't know. Maybe you answered it when I disappeared there. But who did you link to find homes on Facebook?
I know, Ralph. I wish I had the answer, man. You know what? I have what everybody needs to get. It's called an Eileen, and she's our team manager. Holy macaroni! She just does stuff and is just there, And she's the one that did it. Jonathan, what's up, dude? And I would love to get back here. I'll give you my personal email. Email me your information, and I will get it over to the Eileen.
And then he's also asking too, while you're doing that, is Story App any different than Contact Share?
I don't know Contact Share.
I'm not familiar with that either. Are you familiar with that, Justin? Contact Share?
No, I asked him. I'm not familiar.
Okay. I didn't see that in chat. Okay, cool.
The thing I'm one is familiar with, and it's completely different. It's handled differently. I thought Story App was going to be very similar to About.me, which is an online business card, but you're talking about a totally different strategy, which is extremely cool.
So wait, that's finally what About.me is. I was baffled what About.me is. I have a profile. It gets hit all the time, but I'm like, this is a silly thing. But if I get more SEO or get more hits, fine. That's fine with me.
About.me is literally a digital business card. It's not about transferring information back and forth. It's quite literally about a online business card.
Well, now I learned something, because I was baffled and I never got it. I was going to say, there's something.
Now I understand what it is. I still don't understand the value of it, but it gets huge hits, and okay, fine. I'm out there. Beautiful day.
On the same thing.
One of those lines that we talked about on a Google search for your name.
Yeah. And what I do with About.me, guys, is I actually have that in my signature for my email. And so that's where I get a ton of hits when we send stuff out.
Yeah.
Podcast link, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, what the heck was I going to tell you guys? There was another something that was really relevant to our conversation. Dang it. What are you guys hearing about the Facebook lead ads? And kind of, have you guys been kind of listening or following that at all?
That it exists.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
I've heard of it, but I've heard of it. You're not the first person to have mentioned that, but I have not seen or been able to research anything that tells me anything about it yet.
There's the link I have on it.
Okay.
And I mean, what I am seeing with this, it looks like it's just a more interactive ad than the traditional one. I know the one in our area is very, very expensive. So if I can get people engaged with maybe images or quotes or testimonials or something like that. We just signed up for a company. Well, I'll tell you what there are.
Now, is this like a lead capture kind of thing, Greg, or is this just a informational kind of ad, if you will?
I just heard about it, 55 minutes ago.
Gotcha.
So, where is this? Where's yesterday?
They've been planning this for a while, and I haven't really seen where the total play is going to be on this. If this is just going to be a more expensive version of ad marketing, or if this is actually going to be like a landing page strategy where you're going to actually be capturing leads.
Yeah.
Hasn't been really explained very well, at least not in my eyes.
Here, check these two out, guys. I have two more for you. This one is very interesting. So is this one.
Quick zoom. I love it. All this new technology.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Zoom isn't that kind of like a Cisco kind of thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then another agent in my area talked about a tool called Appear.in.
Appear.in?
That sounds creepy.
Yeah, it
no,
does.
Actually, it's kind of it's a business meeting kind of strategy. It's actually kind of interesting tool.
Video conferences. One-click video conferences. Is it free?
Zoom?
I think so. I think there's a paid solution, but I know agents using it right now, and they're using it from a free perspective.
So one-on-one kind of a thing, or a group?
It can be one-on-one, but it could be like one on many. Like you can have up to 8 people in a room. I've seen a couple people, like I know a couple agents that are different WCRs, and they kind of meet in this arena here.
Interesting. I'm on it right now. That looks very interesting. There's so many of these platforms and just play toys out there that you got to figure out which one works, what medium works the best for you.
And that's just it. But these are also the tools that I think are going to make the difference. And it all ties together. I love this conversation. It all ties together how this thing started. And this is how you separate yourself out from the Zillows. These are the ways you're going to say, look, let's have a quick chat right here. We're going to throw a Appear.in. We're going to have a quick chat, and we're just going to do some things.
Yeah.
Right. Here's another thing I'm going to do. It's going back to what Michael was saying. You got to make this transaction easy, and having these solutions in place are what's going to make that transaction easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you said, I love the fact, and I'll finish here in a little bit, but that story.app, storyapp.me is going to be huge. Could you imagine meeting a client at a Starbucks and say, can I get your information? How about you do this? I'm just going to text you. I'm going to text you this, and you'll get it here in a second.
Yep.
What could be easier?
And then, because then you verify their information right off the bat. Bam. There's no more. You're changing the 3 to a 4 on the back end because you don't want to be annoyed by the human. You're gonna get that stuff.
The only thing about the story app, you gotta type that whole link out, right? Is there a quick way to send that in a text? Because I'm not going to remember HTTP.
No. So what you do is you go get your name. So it would literally be like gregmcdaniel.com.me.info. whatever. So you go buy a URL, you attach it to the story app site, and then you just type your name or whatever you want to do, right? That's how you get it. You link it to the URL.
Yeah, to me, I'd send them jbletheby.com, and they would just go straight to that app.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do with it. Jonathan, do not get me started with Smart Zip. I have a story I will tell you off air about them. I swear to God, I will pimp slap the shit out of them. Do not like them at all.
I love realtors that are trainers and coaches and stuff like that, because we always know, don't get us started.
Well, here, I'll tell you the abbreviated version. My father, my brother, and I, we originally came up with the original. We have the patent on the algorithm that SmartZip claims to have, and I can provide that. We took them to lunch many years ago. They were an investment site. Then we have proof that they came to our site, the site called Real Agile, and they copied us, carbon copied us on everything that they did when they started up. The only reason they made it and Real Agile didn't is because they got funding, and they still can't turn a profit. So yeah, when you get hijacked on technology that you built, it can piss you off.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. No, absolutely. But see, that's also what happens, right? Because you guys, and myself included, we talk to a lot of people all day, and we can see things that some people just don't have, because we're dealing not only in one region and one area, we're dealing with a lot of people, because you have lots of conversations with people across the country all the time.
That is the best part. I am jumping off, guys. I have one of my own blabs. If you guys want to jump on, I'm going to get with, Jason, you know him, Rod from San Diego.
Yeah, I may jump on after this one here, buddy.
Okay, sounds like a deal. Justin, man, if you'd like to join, man, I'd love to have you.
Sure. No, I will definitely try. I probably won't be able the whole time, but I will probably grab a quick meal so you don't see me eating in front of the screen, and we'll go from there.
All right, gentlemen. Been a pleasure. Look forward to talking to you guys in a bit.
All right, see you, man.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
bye.
All right, cool. So do we want to wrap things up here? I think we covered websites. There's many different opinions on these websites, right? Some.
No, I think we did a pretty good job, and I love it where it went. Michael started off good thing, and what's it? Well, I see McDaniel's system. What's his first name? I didn't see a name.
Greg.
Okay, and Greg, I think, topped it off at the end very well, where he was talking about tools and aspects that I think also do that. And I think that's where some of the challenges come from here. We got to realize that our job is not we're not a key holder. That's the always thing I keep telling people. We are not a key holder. We are a giver of information. We are relationship builders. That's our job these days as a real estate agent. And if we forget that, we are going to get bypassed. Hey, Ralph, how are we doing, sir?
Hey, outstanding. Enjoyed. I just hopped on at the last end here and enjoy the information you're throwing out there, story app and all that good stuff. You know, I may be 108, but I'm still learning. But
we all are, for sure.
One thing that I was just going to share with you guys, because you gave me so much information, I love to give value back. Yesterday, I pulled together a title company, a mortgage company, a home inspector, and we did like a real estate 101 blab that naturally recorded, and we're able to upload it. Basically, it was like a first-time home buyers seminar on blab. It was cheap. It went very, very well. We had some different questions. And I just thought, seeing that you guys are out there and very techy, what are your thoughts on that? What you see there adding value? Yes, that's not going to probably bring me a customer in right today, but it kind of sets you apart as the expert in.
Here's Ralph. What I do with these blabs as I record them. I'm the branch manager here at my office, and I have a smart TV in the lobby or whatever. And then I link that up to my YouTube channel, and then play the on a cycle in the lobby, if you will. So I try to repurpose these videos all over the place because I think there's a lot of value, and I think Greg touched on it a little bit. Some people want to be a fly in the Oval Office, fly on the wall. I think there's a lot of people who want to be a fly in the conversations that realtors, lenders, title companies have. And I think there's a lot of value in that. So that's where I think this can be of use to us. There's other things that I'm thinking of that can be done too. It's just not quite there yet, this platform. But I think just repurposing these and having these conversations so they can see and get your body language and, hear what you have to say on certain subject matters, I think that goes a long way. I really do.
Builds accountability and trust as consumers see that and putting that out on it's linked to my Facebook page, as well as the lenders are now doing the same. It's just it filters out, even if we're doing them at noon Central Standard Time.
I saw it yesterday. I saw you had 4 people. I saw yours yesterday. It was good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. You see a lot of agents, right? They do all sorts of seminars, right? They have first-time home buyer investor seminars, things like that. I think you're smart we're doing this, one, because video, we've said this for weeks now, video is where you need to be. And 2, you're going to reach a larger audience with this. And, again, real estate can only be done in the states you're licensed in, but you can revert anywhere across the country.
Definitely. And sometimes people have that mindset, I'm going to hold this tight to my chest. And I think it's in giving that we receive. And if another agent in my market area picks up on it and copycats something, you know what? It's always still be the front runner. And when somebody's breathing down your neck, it just gives you more juice to run a little bit faster. So let's do it.
Yeah, no,
I love that statement.
I jump in a lot of the real estate things when I have time, of course, and I support, because hey, we're all here to try to, we're not competing markets, so to speak. So, it's good that we all kind of, and that's one of the things that Justin and I, we've had conversations about this platform and what it's going to evolve to once it kind of gets discovered in the real estate market. How can realtors leverage this? Now, I've seen some realtors take this and right now they have Apple phones and they take it and go show a house with an Apple phone with this. I know Karen's in the room here. She does a great job with her local St. Louis blab, where she gets local restaurant owners or people who have purchased in that area to talk about why they love that particular area. I think that's fantastic way to use it. So
awesome.
I think there's many different angles of attack that we can use to leverage this. It's just how it's going to evolve and where it's going to take us, I suppose, because it's all new to us. I mean, most of us are just getting used to having a conversation on a camera and not person to person.
Correct.
And
I'm the old dog in here. In my market area, the agent or the lender, the home inspector, the title company, when I asked if they would like to join on the blab, and they said, "What's blab?"
Yeah, exactly.
And hardly anyone in my market area. I was introduced to this. I was asked to speak at an I Inspire World Tour in New York in September, and I ran into a lady, Grateful Tony. She does social media coach, and she introduced that to me. And so I kind of, first I resistant and watched a few, and I thought, this is comfortable. This could work. And so I put myself out there and got these other people. But in the area, I live in Missouri, just west of St. Louis and Washington. So we're not behind in times, but this is such a new platform. It's the sky is the limit. Just like when Facebook first started out, and all that.
Yeah, no, this is definitely new territory for all of us. Until we figure out how we're going to do it, like I've experimented with some other platform like XSplit and some other things where you can take my box here and showcase a property, for example, and then you, as the realtor, one of your listings, you could talk about that property, as a deal. But you have to have an audience for that, and the audience really isn't here for that right now, in my opinion. So there's a lot of marketers on Blab and a lot of things. So I think right now, just having conversations about topics that are happening or trending, and then repurposing that video, I think is, I don't know, that's kind of where I'm going with it right now until it kind of gets a bigger, broader audience. Until I get better at it too, quite frankly.
Yeah, we're looking at the Blab that created to come up with USDA loans, different specific topics from here on out to try to help educate the public, give them some good information. That's if they choose another realtor over myself, so be it. But educate the public so we're not the bad guys.
A very successful Blab, and I haven't seen it lately, but when we first started doing this, and Justin, I don't know how long you've been on. We've been on about the same time, probably, and Karen, same thing. But I don't know if you saw it, but affordable housing was a very, very popular Blab. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman came on who was a representative from affordable housing, came on, and he would have over 100 people in the room.
Wow.
At one time. And this was several months ago. So it's about hitting that right topic, hitting the right, whatever the conversation piece is, hitting that. And that's part of us just figuring that out. And that's understanding the audience that's on Blab, because as you said, not everybody knows about Blab. So understanding who's on Blab is a big part of picking that right topic, unless you're going to repurpose it.
And I hadn't been, I was on Twitter, but I never did anything. I wasn't active on Twitter. And since, doing the Blab thing, now it's become more, I haven't tweeted, but I get a lot of messages from followers now on Twitter.
Well, it's evolved, right? I mean, when Twitter first started, everybody was taking pictures of their dinner, right? You don't see that too much anymore.
Now that's Instagram.
Yeah, now it's Instagram, right? Facebook, kind of same thing. So it's evolving, and we're just trying to catch up and keep up.
Yep. As you said, one of your friends is doing an open house, and I thought about that too, doing a open house. I have on Blab, just as long as live out in the country. So sometimes some areas of reception, upload is going to be freezing up and so on and so forth. But I thought, what a cool way to have, here again, lenders, and just have a open house with the same information like we had yesterday. It's just, because not everybody's going to go back to listen to those replays. I think you can repeat a topic, several times because you're going to get different viewers, and you rename the subject is going to pique other people's interest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's instant feedback. So we talked about that too in the beginning of doing open houses, and then showing your seller instant feedback, so you don't look like the bad guy when the house is overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this room? What do you think about the lighting in here? Or how do you think about this backyard or whatever? You can get this instant feedback with live streaming that you can't otherwise get. That then you can go take to your seller and say, hey, look, this is the feedback I'm getting. We got to do something.
Or have the seller just sit in the audience and be quiet.
Well, that might be asking a little bit much, I would think. I don't know if I'd want to tell my seller that, hey, I'm showing you. And I don't know. Maybe you have to get permission to do that. I think in there some kind of laws.
Definitely do.
Yeah, I think if you frame it the right way, this is for your benefit. There's going to be some comments that you may be defensive, but, be in a state of allowing to hear exactly what the consumer is saying out there, because that's going to benefit you most, rather than coming back and arguing the fact.
Very cool, man. I'm glad you're on, man. I want to see more realtors on. I want to see more in our profession take this platform. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes myself, to be honest with you.
I'm looking at retirement, but not. I'm 63. I've been asked to speak on different occasions I was involved in a car accident that nearly took my life. So I started a topic a number of years ago, overcoming crashes. Now I changed it to plant seeds carefully. What we think about, we bring about. And I don't think I'm an old man. I joke about it, but I've got a lot of trouble to cause yet in my life.
Good for you. Good for you. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
I was about to give you a high five, then you said accident. I go, okay, I don't want to give you a high five on an accident.
Yeah, we don't want to tell you accident. Cool. Well, hey,
awesome, sir. Well, I don't want to call this short.
Every Friday. Yeah, we want to cut this.
11 o'clock.
We do this every Friday, Ralph. So, tell your friends, tweet about it, whatever, realtors, lenders, whatever, bring them in, talk about tech, and we can all learn from each other. So for sure.
I followed you guys. So when you put your blabs up, I will pass it on.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ralph. I'm following you as well, buddy.
Yeah. Have an outstanding day.
All right, you too.
Awesome. Another great session. That's 2 in a row, man. We got some trends to keep going here.
Yeah, right. We got to keep the topics and the content going.
So
hey,
go for it. Go for it.
Good time today, man. Good time. I know Michael will join us next week again from across the pond. I hope I didn't offend him by saying taxation. I don't know if that's a sore subject. Is that racism?
Good question.
I don't know. He said he wasn't upset, so I'm happy about that. But hey, check out my website, everybody, www.valuethisunrealestateshow. And then next Friday, we'll do this again.
Yep, and thanks, guys, again. 11 o'clock, as Jason said, Friday. Again, it's eprofessorofrealestate.com for anything tech-related, and there are always new courses coming online. So check it out, and hopefully you guys start signing up. Take care, and see you next week.
Tell your friends and join us. We can all learn from each other for sure on this lab session.
Awesome. Take care, man.
All right, cool, man. I'll see you around, buddy.